next speaker, I want to introduce our brother from Israel, Shaher Shabso. Please, the floor is yours.
Have a nice day, everybody. Thank you for having us over here. Thank you for letting us talk in this event. My name is Shaher Shabso. I'm from a small village in Israel called Rahaniya, Adiga village. The Circassian community, Circassian Adiga village community in Israel is quite different than the rest of the diasporas, Adiga diasporas in the world, for one reason. The political relationship between the Soviet Unions back then and those days between Israel was different, completely disconnection. So we weren't as exposed as the rest of the diasporas to the Russian cultural groups. Unless it's TVs and books and things that we have, we didn't really meet as much as people. With the days when the Soviet Union opened, we have to have a better involvement and better things to do, and then try to look for our future as a nation. As a kid growing up in a small closed community, at school, they teach us our language, Adigabza. So everybody of us speak the language very good. It's very sheltered group, religious wise, very protected. The most important thing that we always all remember that we used to have in classes in our villages, every grade, on the wall of the class, I'll say it first in Adigabza and I will translate it. It said, so if you don't have a language, you don't have root. If you don't have roots, the wind will blow you. And this is what's all about being nationalist. So for us, as Circassians, as other Caucasian languages, if you don't have the language, it's a problem. And growing a little later, and then getting married, and having kids. I have 3 beautiful children, 7, 5, and 4. And as my father and my mom and my grandmother used to say always, very important, put the language in their mouth. That's what they used to tell us always. Because they might take your land, they might take your culture, they might burn your books. If you don't have your language, they will never be able to take the language out of your tongue. That's the most important to everybody and every one of us. So growing up, looking at my children's face and trying to be as faithful as possible, as cultural as possible, growing up out of our homeland and out of home is meaningless because you don't have home when you're outside. No matter what you do, no matter how much you control, and no matter how much you're trying to preserve your language, you're not home, you're not home. So if I see, as of now, I live in the United States, I raise my kids, I talk to them, it's very painful, and very, very painful. I'm a father who is in pain, and hope, and dream, and wish more than ever to one day to say we're going home. Because when I tell that to my parents, to my kids, going home is not going back to the village I came from, because it's not our home. We do speak the language, we are cultured, we are preserved, but that's not our home. Our home is Kavkaz, and our home is Adigea. We need to do as nation whatever we need to do to go back home. For that reason, we stand together, we work together, despite what kind of political views that we have, despite what kind of background we come from, we are brothers, and we will all be together. And thank you for having us over.